According to an Arabian proverb, he who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything. It is with this deep sense of hope and optimism that I welcome you to Better You Today, your favorite health and wellness-centered program, coming to you on the network service of the NTA. My name is Yetunde Jayola. I'm so glad you could join us today. Hepatitis, yes, hepatitis, would be our focus on today's package. A short break beckons. See you at the other side.
Hepatitis is a disease, or let me say a sickness that doesn't show effect. Like, it happens that they will say somebody has hepatitis, no any symptoms, nothing. Because I have someone very close to me who, when she was about to give, though she gave birth, then she was told that before she breastfeed a child, she has to give a child a vaccine called something hemoglobin, something like that. So we say why? They said that she has a hepatitis, which to us we have not seen any symptom or sign anything.
As a disease condition, I will advise Nigerians to, when you observe any condition, you seek medical help by doing a test, because not every fever is malaria. It could be as a result of any other thing. So first, do a test so as certain, because hepatitis is a killer disease, and unless we combat it head on, it will continue to deplete our population, and we don't want to suffer loss.
Many people have it, but they are not aware because they don't go to hospital and check. That is the question. You have to go for medical checkup so that they will ascertain whether you have it or not. It doesn't normally show on the face. It's a silent killer. Some people will have it, they may not aware, or less the repercussion. It's a deadly disease.
I encountered hepatitis myself. When I'm abroad, I went to an hospital for a yellow fever. Then they asked me that they will make an X-ray for me to see if I have hepatitis. So that's it. That's the way I go to the X-ray, and Alhamdulillah, I'm not having it. But I had some people that are having hepatitis. Where we live in some rural areas, some of them are having issues in hepatitis. The problem is that some of the people are having the disease, but they doesn't know that they have the disease. Maybe it will affect their liver and makes them unable to be cured. Some of them are going for the test if they want to get married, so they don't even know that they have the disease. So from that time, they will know that they have the disease, then they will go for the vaccine or for the cure.
It's a disease that doesn't show any sign or symptom, only that it lives within the humans. Maybe peradventure is when somebody go to hospital, they carry series of tests, they will not discover that such person has hepatitis. So if a government can create more awareness about that hepatitis, it will be very good.
According to experts, hepatitis in many cases does not present with any symptoms. I'll put it in a popular parlance: e no dey show for face. A consultant family physician and gastroenterologist will bring his expertise to bear to enlighten us and clarify gray areas as far as hepatitis is concerned. But before then, a mini documentary on hepatitis comes your way. Please stay tuned.
According to the World Health Organization Regional Office for Africa, viral hepatitis is a highly endemic disease and a public health problem. It is responsible for about 1.4 million deaths globally, mostly from hepatitis-related liver cancer and cirrhosis. Unfortunately, most people with chronic viral hepatitis are not aware of their status or do not receive appropriate treatment. Significant barriers to attaining a sustainable and robust national viral hepatitis prevention, diagnosis and treatment strategies in member states do exist. These include inadequate data for making decisions and limited coverage of effective prevention interventions need to be addressed before the global goal of eliminating viral hepatitis as a major public health threat can be realized. Also, the lack of simple and effective hepatitis testing strategies and tools, the very limited access to effective treatment and care services, unaffordable hepatitis medicine and diagnosis, and lack of comprehensive public health approach need to be addressed as well. Various structural barriers increase vulnerability and prevention equitable access to services. Widespread stigma and discrimination hinder access to health services for population that may be marginalized or who are at risk of hepatitis infection. Data relating to epidemiology and disease outcomes and adequate death notice certificate data about the etiology of the liver disease is lacking. A World Health Organization analysis in 73 countries revealed that an investment in the HPV vaccine could prevent an estimate of 4.8 million hepatitis B-related deaths over a 10-year period, according to the Global Alliance for Vaccine and Immunization. In conclusion, national governments, international aid groups, non-governmental organizations, pharmaceutical companies all need to play a role in combating liver disease, which are potentially preventable, eminently treatable, and even curable with modern-day therapies.
Just like sunlight disperses darkness, awareness of hepatitis brings hope and light, not just to those who are affected by the condition, but to the citizenry in general. We now welcome our professional in the house to speak to us on hepatitis. He is Dr. Lukman Abdul Karim, a consultant family physician and gastroenterologist. I promise you'll find this extensive, revealing, and highly educative.
Hepatitis is a word that was derived from the Greek word hepa, which means liver, and itis means inflammation. So when we say hepatitis, it just means inflammation of the liver, in which the liver is swollen. There are what we call inflammatory cells going on in the liver. So it's a disease process in which the liver is inflamed. Now, in terms of causes, there are so many causes of hepatitis. The most common in the environment is what we call viral hepatitis, which is due to viruses. And these viruses, we have the ones we call hepatotropic viruses. You would have heard of hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, as well as hepatitis D and E. Now, we have some other viruses that are non-hepatotropic, meaning that they don't have predilection for the liver. The hepatitis A to E, they have predilection for the liver, and that's why we call them hepatotrophic viruses. There are other infections like bacterial infections, fungal infections, parasitic infections, that may also cause hepatitis. Then we have, in our environment, commonly also is alcohol. Alcohol could also cause what we call alcoholic fatty liver disease, which could lead to alcoholic steatohepatitis. There are a number of other causes of hepatitis, but mainly in our environment, these are the very common ones. Herbal drugs may cause hepatitis. Some herbal drugs, if they affect the liver. There are even some orthodox medication that may also cause hepatitis in some patients. If they are toxic to the liver, then may cause this inflammation, of the liver. Most times, people may not have any symptoms. They don't have any symptoms. They just go for a checkup and they see the liver enzymes, the liver function test is abnormal, or they go for a checkup and they see that they test positive to viral hepatitis. Now, some may develop symptoms in which they may have, fever, body weakness, they have joint pains, muscle pains. The location of the liver, that's the right upper part of the abdomen, may become painful due to the swollen and inflamed liver. Some may go ahead to develop jaundice, that's yellowness of the eyes. So when people maybe when they acquire viral hepatitis for the first time, that we call acute hepatitis, they may come with these symptoms. And that makes people to go to the hospital and, a diagnosis may be made. A large majority may have no symptoms. Now, when people now have the hepatitis and it's there for a long time, they may not even have any symptoms or they may not know except they do a test. So largely, it may be asymptomatic. For some people, they may have those symptoms I listed. Some may not even have those symptoms at all, but they might have had hepatitis for a very long time. Some may have it for years, and the inflammation is just ongoing without knowing. And they may just come up with what we call complications from hepatitis, like when they develop cirrhosis or when they develop liver cancers. And in cirrhosis, patients may now come with swollen abdomen, swollen feet, yellow eyes, they begin to lose weight. In liver cancers, the liver may now become swollen because of the cancer cells in the liver, in which the liver now becomes so large. And people may now begin to have like a mass in the upper part, or right upper part of the abdomen due to the liver cancers. This is in complications when people don't know that they have it for a long period of time and they develop complications. When it comes to alcohol-induced hepatitis, the main solution is to stop alcohol before complications develop, so that perhaps the liver may even revert back to normal if there's no cirrhosis. Now, for viral hepatitis, the problem with viral hepatitis is that people are not even aware of, viral hepatitis. When you mention HIV, almost everybody knows about HIV. But when you mention hepatitis, people will even ask you, what does that mean? And there are so many people that are not even aware that there's something like hepatitis. Talk of them not even testing or going for a test to know that they have it or they don't have it. So I think the first awareness is for people to even know what hepatitis is and know there is a disease process that needs to be tested for. Because when they are tested for it, then when they test negative, particularly the ones we are particular about is the hepatitis B and hepatitis C. Hepatitis A and E, they don't stay long in the body. Usually, when people have it within a few weeks, maximum 6 months, the body is able to eradicate the hepatitis A and E. People may have the hepatitis B and C for a long time, for months, for years, for decades, without knowing. So we call that a chronic infection. Once the hepatitis virus is in the system for more than 6 months, we call it a chronic infection. Now, people may not know they have it because they have no symptoms. People may not know they have it because they don't even know what hepatitis is all about. Now, when people are aware of it, then they should be able to do a test to test for hepatitis B and test for hepatitis C. Now, for hepatitis B, if they test negative, we always advise that people should get immunization so that the immunization will protect them from getting the infection in future. Perhaps if they're exposed to hepatitis B, that immunization will protect them from getting it. Now, if they test positive, they need to seek medical attention as soon as possible. Now, for hepatitis C also, unfortunately, hepatitis C doesn't have a vaccine. But when people test positive for hepatitis C, there is a cure for hepatitis C. There are drugs that can cure hepatitis C, and usually treatment will just be for 3 months, and the hepatitis C is completely cured. Unlike B, in hepatitis B, when people have chronic infection, it may not be cured, but we do some tests. When you go to the hospital, some tests may be requested for that will help you to determine the level, the stage of this hepatitis B. Has it reached the stage that requires antiviral drugs, or is it at the stage in which the body immune system is able to suppress it? Now, if the body immune system is able to suppress it, what your doctor may just tell you is that you need regular monitoring of the liver as well as the virus. Now, when it's at the stage where treatment is needed, then you need to be started on antiviral drugs. And for hepatitis B, what the antiviral drugs, what they do is that they help to suppress the infection. Once the infection is suppressed, it's made inactive, we don't expect it to cause any damage to the liver. Though we still need to monitor such people from time to time to be sure that there's no complications from this hepatitis B. Whether they're on treatment or they're not on treatment, they require periodic monitoring. When it comes to hepatitis care, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and what we always advise people is that you should seek medical attention. Get to see a healthcare practitioner, get to see a doctor, and it shouldn't be that you just see a doctor once and you forget about it. It's not like you see your doctor once and once in 3 months to 6 months, you get to have a checkup so that you are sure that it's well controlled, whether by the immune system, in the inactive phase, or the drugs you are taking, you should be sure that the drugs are working and keeping the virus suppressed. And generally, we have to create awareness, for those that don't know about it. Some believe that since they are healthy and they have no symptoms, they believe that they don't have hepatitis. Until when they do the blood tests, before they can know whether they have hepatitis B or hepatitis C. Just like we say in HIV, it doesn't show on the face. Most people, when they have no symptoms, it doesn't show on the face until when there are complications. And once there are complications, it's a little bit more difficult to treat at that time because you are not only dealing with the virus, you're also dealing with the complications that has arisen, from the viral infection. When it comes to alcoholic hepatitis, avoiding alcohol or alcohol in moderation, see a doctor for proper assessment. When it comes to viral hepatitis, make sure you do your hepatitis tests. Get tested today. If not today, get tested as soon as possible because they show for face. Once there are no symptoms, it doesn't mean that one does not have it, except that test is done. So I think that's the general advice to the public in terms of that. Now, if one tests positive, the general advice is that seek medical help. There are so many things out there that people talk about, herbal drugs to cure it, dietary restrictions. Some will say don't take meat, don't take protein. All those things do not do anything to the viral hepatitis. What you need is proper medical attention to determine if you need to be treated with drugs or not.
Raising awareness about hepatitis is like planting a seed of knowledge that will bring forth fruits of hepatitis-free world. Wow, how time flies. We have come to the end of today's edition of Better Eat Today. Hoping you are able to glean one or two impactful pieces of information from today's episode. To watch these as well as previous editions, kindly visit our YouTube page displayed on your screen. I remain Yetunde Jayola. Remember, prevention against hepatitis is within reach and early detection saves life. Do stay safe, remain focused on adding value to your wellness and well-being. Bye for now and see you some other time.